this was a good sized swarm put in this hive, and they have done a beautiful job. I don't know if you can see that. You can see pollen in the center and this beautiful white comb on top. This was foundation, and but here's the sad part. This is a bad queen, and I haven't spotted her yet. It is not a land worker, but a bad queen. And you can, I don't know if I hold that sideways, if you can see all this brood. It's jagged and uneven, and anyhow that's drone brood, but it's a bad queen. So I'm going to have to replace her. And you need to check your hives to be sure you've got a good queen. Right now is not too late, but if you keep waiting, it can be too late in order to get a queen. So check your hive and be sure you got a good queen. Hello, I'm Tim Durham with Durham's Bee Farm. I'm going to illustrate after a package of bees, 3 frames of not a package, I'm sorry, a nook of bees was put in a hive, and what can happen and what you should do. So we'll go to it, and there's only one request. If you will, go down below in the red rectangular block, and it says subscribe. If you'll subscribe, if you haven't already, then that'll give me a blue ribbon. All right, here we go. I already took this frame out of the outside, and it's been drawn out nicely. It's about 60% on this side, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to put them back. Now, when you get packaged bees, a lot of times there will be a lot of burr comb on it, and now I'm looking real quickly for the queen bee. I'm going to shake all the bees off this, and I'm going to show you why. And but I'm looking for the queen bee just for the fun of spotting her, and I haven't seen her on here. So I'm going to shake all these bees off and show you what I'm going to do. Now, on the bottom here is burr comb, and that needs to be, that burr comb, I'm going to cut it off. That burr comb needs to be cut off. You need to dress up that burr comb on a regular basis. Now, if you can see it, this queen is laying nicely. The brood in the center has emerged. Now this is drone brood right here. It stick out further. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Illustrate. I could not put 10 frames in this hive because this nook had a lot of burr comb on it and honey. If you can see, the honey is sticking out from the side of this, and that will keep you from putting 10 frames in this hive. So I'm gonna get right to it and show you what I'm going to do. I got a little bucket, and I'm gonna cut this. Now this is not burr comb right here. This is just honey where they've drawn it out too far because there wasn't enough. There was too much space. The previous video, the battery cut off, and I wasn't able to finish. So with this frame, I think I can verbally tell you the situation. If your 10 frames are not snug together and they're pushed together, then the honeybees will draw out the comb honey on top further out than the edge of the wood. So if you have that situation, shake all the bees off the frame, get you a serrated knife, and hold this vertically on top of that container, and then just on the edge of the wood, in a saw, with a serrated knife, in a saw-like fashion, just cut that comb honey that's sticking out, cut it off and let it fall into the container, and the brood that's going to be down here below, they don't draw it out further, but the comb honey they will. If you have too much space and you need to keep your comb honey cleaned up. Now, this foundation is plastic, and a lot of your beekeepers are going to the plastic. I never thought I would like it, but it's probably, everything considered, even beginners, it's probably the best. Now keep in mind that commercial beekeepers do things different than hobby beekeepers. Now, on this plastic foundation, your commercial beekeepers, they've started using it, but what they do is they heat a bowl of beeswax, and they'll take a paint roller and they'll paint another coat of beeswax on that plastic sheet foundation. That's, of course, you have to have the beeswax, and other than that, it wouldn't be hard at all to set you up a double boiler, inexpensive pans, and do that. But now, this is an illustration. This side of the frame, they drew it out very nicely. This side of the frame is spotted, and you see where they did not draw it out here. I don't know if you can get a good picture of that. Now on the other side, it was just the corner down here. So keep that in mind. So I hope this helped you. If you will, go down below in that red rectangular bar and click on subscribe, and that'll give me a blue ribbon. And at my age, I need all the blue ribbons I can get. Let me tell you about my grandson. You know, they call me Pops, and I love him to death. He's all boy. I mean all boy. And most boys are all boy. Some boys, they got a double dose of it, you know. So my grandson and his little buddy at church, you know, they're running around cutting up, they're pulling stunts all the time. And so one Sunday, his buddy was homesick. He couldn't go to church. So my grandson, you know, apparently he felt like he needed to make up for his little buddy not being there. And he was running, cutting up, and running through the church, and the preacher grabbed him, and very frustrated, and the preacher told him real sternly, like, said, "Where is God? Where do you think God is?" And my grandson, you know, he didn't know how to answer that question, so the preacher told him, said, "You go home and think about that, and when you come back next Sunday, I want you to tell me where God is." So grandson went home, and he called his little buddy that was homesick, and he says, "Guess what?" Said, "They can't find God, and they're wanting to blame that on me too." And so, anyway, one thing my dad always told me, and I think it's very true. If I can get it straight, deodorant is, how'd that go, honey? how'd that deodorant go, Joe, go?
Common sense is like deodorant. People who need it most don't use it.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here's what he told me. He said, common sense is like deodorant. The people that need it most don't use it. so I think everybody agree with that. Okay, if y'all have any questions, you can go down below, and there's a comment section down there, and I answer the good Lord willing, and I still do. I answer every question that people ask me. So I'll do that as long as I can, and stay in touch and let us know how you're doing. Hey, oh yeah, tell us where you're from. If you're from Siberia or Australia or Mississippi or Kentucky, wherever you're from, you can give the city, but at least give the state or the country. I find that interesting. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye.